Hello, good morning, evening, afternoon, night, everything in between. We're here for another World Cup Watchpoint team preview. Today we are talking Team Colombia, and I'm joined by Colombia tank player SuperGomez, or just Gomez as his name on the Riverside UI says, as well as Team Colombia assistant coach Luey. Thank you both for joining me here today. Luey also is the co-host of his own Overwatch World Cup focused podcast. I'll plop a link to that in the description as well. But yeah, if each of you want to just take a second to introduce yourselves a little bit, talk a little bit about where you've come from in the Overwatch scene, where you've been, and how you've ended up here with Team Colombia.
You go first and talk.
Yeah, hi, my name is Luey. Yeah, a little bit of background of who I am. I've been coaching for a couple of years now. Kind of took a break in 2023 after I graduated from UT Dallas, but came back a couple months ago when the World Cup was announced. I actually did a small tournament with Team Puerto Rico for Copa America. And then from there, I got a little bit more involved in Face of Masters and Collegiate. And now I've been coaching World Cup. I helped Peru for a little bit, and now I'm helping Team Pakistan and Team Colombia as an assistant coach. Yeah, that's my background.
Okay, you guys can hear me, right? Am I good? Okay, good, perfect. So Super Gomez didn't have any good aliases other than 2023 when I played in Overwatch. Kind of was a little bit more just one of those guys that you see in ranked before, and then in between the 2023 stuff. Never really played Overwatch since I didn't really want to play it. But then Rivals came out, and then I played a lot of Rivals professionally with my old group. If you remember, Rymazing, Korova, and then Armori, Hogs,
Play for this
Gaslin,
little team called Sentinels. I don't know if people have heard of it. Or they're not like a super big deal, but
yeah, and then also an NTMR. They're not that big of a deal either. Yeah, for some. But played for that for a year, a good solid, or not even a year, like a good solid 9 months. Went to go to the LAN a lot. Went to go to the Guangzhou, China, and then now I'm back to Overwatch because Rivals is pulling a little bit of a hacky sack at the moment. Not really happy with it, but Overwatch has been making me happy. They will keep playing Overwatch for a while after World Cup. Anything will happen, but back to Overwatch I go right now.
yeah, it tends to happen. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, we're all tired. Don't worry about it.
I have a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I've a lot. I have both nothing going on, but also feel like I have a lot going on.
Yeah, I get that. I literally stayed up till like 4 a.m. with Gomez the other night. We were just chilling, and I was just working. I was working on some stuff, and then I woke up this morning at like 7 a.m.
Oh no, I didn't. I went to bed at
no,
that
was 2 days
yet.
ago. Don't lie. That was 2 days ago. And now today, what have you done? What's your excuse?
Yeah, I don't know. I went to sleep. I was so tired yesterday because I fell asleep the day previously at like 4 a.m. and then woke up early this morning and just was trying to be productive, went to the gym and everything. So did some work.
A little something with me. I got a little bit of a. Okay, I'm 22, and don't make fun of me. I'm getting my permits test today, and then I'm gonna get my driver's license test on Monday, because I never actually did it like 3 years ago. So I'm gonna do that right after this.
You can get your
22 years old.
You can get your permit. You can go from getting your permit to your license that quickly. Where you live?
I'm in Georgia. It's because I had it in 2023, and I have history of having a permit and having the extended time in between.
Oh, okay. Like your permit expired.
Between that, they allow it. So.
I see. Well, on the Overwatch front, Team Colombia was one of the big surprises of last time. I think it's fair to say. Gomez, you were a part of that, as well as the main support player Mixvi. But it's in this weird, like, I don't want to say paradox, but like at one time it feels like that basically nobody has come out of Colombia as a result of that run, but at the same time, most of this team is new compared to last World Cup. So, Gomez, could you speak a little bit to what Team Colombia 2023 was like and how you were able to go on that impressive run?
I think with what it was back then, it's like how I said in the beginning, I wasn't really a known person, nor have I ever tried to like show and express kind of how much I played. They played the game, just kind of like the skill expression that I put into the game, kind of just the passion. And the rest of us too, it was just all of us making a new come up with stuff. Like players like Eternal, I've always seen Eternal in ranked. I knew that he was a really good player because he's always been high elo, almost rank 1 on each role. And then obviously EQO, the big dog coming out of the cave out of nowhere, just coming to play all the way across the world and 200 ping. And then Mixvi and Hug being that also just out of nowhere. We just kind of like arose and just was able to represent as a whole. And now with the people that we have now, being like Temp and Lich, Mixvi, Kratos, and Changed, now that's a little bit more different since back then we didn't really have any more representation esports wise. Since I don't think Eternal played on any teams, right, Luey? I don't think so, right? I don't think so.
Listen,
No.
Here and there, but like nothing.
Here and there.
Nothing
I know Hug
super.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And I know
Nothing
Mixvi
super substantial. Yeah.
No, it was just EQO. EQO is like the only big representation.
Dromer, I guess. He was like
Dromer.
contenders. He was a contender South America guy back in the day.
It made me. I almost forgot about Dromer because Dromer wasn't even supposed to play back then.
Dude, he was a
Same with
beast.
Cersei.
I remember him playing Hanzo, right? He played Hanzo, and I was like, damn, that's kind of impressive. I think he played Hanzo.
No, Dromer never played. He's the Tracer one trick.
Am I thinking of?
You're thinking of EQO, or EQO and Eternal. I mean those two.
I'm thinking
played...
of someone else. Maybe I'm thinking of Debut from Chile. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
You're thinking about someone else, but I mean back then we weren't even supposed to play with Cersei and Dromer since complications happened with the two of them. They weren't able to make it to LAN. It wasn't fun. I think everyone knows what happened in 2023 with EQO. Since I think people do know that he's half Israeli, half Colombian. But why I was saying that he was playing all the way across the seas because he was playing on 200 ping in Israel. And back then there was a lot of stuff happening back then. They weren't allowed to fly out of the country. So then the brothers had to come in and become the new DPS pool, which was hopefully none of that happens anywhere with my teammates now. If we do make Korea. Hopefully. I mean, if people don't know as well, Lich is a breakthrough player. I think everyone knows that though. Pretty sure. Oh,
yep.
And Ben is not here anymore, by the way. What happened?
I didn't know EKO got restricted. I feel like somebody brushed on that like very quickly, but I didn't realize he wasn't able to come entirely to LAN.
It wasn't like a. I'm not trying to get political, but like it wasn't like a fully stated matter since he doesn't really use social media as more of a classic guy. Just doesn't really keep. He really keeps his life a little bit more in check. But with the whole war stuff happening back then, it sucked. I don't think people knew that he played on 220 ping because the people we had to play on minimum ping anyway, like 150 minimum ping. So it was kind of a situation for all of us. But I don't think anyone knew that EKO played on 220, 200 ping, all the way in Israel. He wasn't able to make it to that because he was sort of stuck. He was sort of stuck in Israel for that one.
Yeah,
which was scary. That is scary. I'm glad that he's good now. Like, do you not understand how happy I was to see him like out of nowhere in Rivals? I was like, wait, he's actually alive. Yes. He's here. Yes, I was so happy.
Is he living somewhere else now? Or?
I think he's still in Israel. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, interesting.
He loves it there. He's like my dad. He won't leave Colombia. And he's great. He's a fantastic guy. Very classic, down to earth guy. I'm talking about Ikeo, not my dad. I mean, they're both the same, but
So. Looking at the 2023 roster, 2026 roster, the big headliner I think is definitely Temp, along with Lich. Temp has kind of gone from over the course of OWCS's existence, he's gone from basically a nobody that people were surprised kind of even managed to sneak into OWCS in 2024 to one of the consistently strongest players in Tier 2 in the hit scan role, now with Extinction's like B team, whatever they're called, Extinction Zero, I think. Yeah. He's brought alongside Lich, who is a player that he used to play with way back on like Tanuki. Lich occupying the breakthrough player slot through his Guyanese parents. Lueyyy, were you with the team when that recruitment process happened? Because if I remember, Lich was announced very, very early to be joining Team Colombia.
Yeah, actually, for me, I joined when the roster was already completed, so I was not a part of that process actually. But the whole process apparently for recruiting Lich, from my understanding, was that our main support player Mixvi saw that yeah, he was from South America, in a South American country. He was like, they reached out to him, they asked him if he was interested in playing the World Cup. He said yes. Here we are, a strong face it Masters DPS line.
It was Mixvi, not Temp, who made that.
Yeah, apparently, from what I heard, yeah, it was Mixvi that's noticed that he was eligible and able to play with us.
And props on Mixvi. They've always.
I still don't know how the breakthrough stuff works. I thought it was just that you have to. I'm pretty sure you have to be in the same region.
Yeah,
that your country is not represented. Right?
Yeah, so either a team that didn't enter qualifying or a team that got knocked out in qualifying. That's why it stood out to me, because that was announced right before the Americas Conference Cup, or maybe like right after it had ended. So it was sort of like they weren't even considering looking at any of the players who had gotten knocked out of America's Conference Cup. Which does make some sense. Lich is a really good player. There's pre-existing synergy there with Temp as well. Makes complete sense. You're also pulling on a citizenship or a nationality that, like, you know, I didn't even know. I had no idea he was Guyanese. Fun fact for you is that somebody had at one point, kind of early in the World Cup build-up process, told me that they thought Lich was Indian, which is a very common mistake that people make, like meeting Guyanese people, because there's a lot of Guyanese people that are of an ethnic Indian background because of like British colonial era migrant workers and migration. It's a really interesting thing. It's one of the most ethnically diverse countries on the planet. So really cool to see Lich being represented here. How, like, do you feel like having a DPS line of that pedigree really elevates the level of the team as a whole, especially with their experience competing in NA Tier 2?
Yeah, it's makes it 10 times easier. I'm not gonna lie. Having players kind of walk through the step process, and obviously with Lich and Temp, thank God they are smart as hell. They know how to coordinate really well with each other, and they also know how to give like the full blown information that we need to know whenever we're missing gaps in the match. Whenever, you know, if we didn't even have coaches, I think they would have helped us regardless, like straight away, or like through the whole team building process. Since their knowledge, I think Lich. I think another good fact about Lich is that he's almost tier 1. I think his team just needs to qualify. As soon as his team qualifies to OWCS, then he's going to be the tier 1 player. If Temp was given the opportunity to, if no offense, if he was on a better team, he would be, you know, I think he'd be tier 1 as well. I think both those kids are definitely tier 1 material, definitely. But it's like how in the 2023 situation where having EKO was just a knowledge boost, just on how smart he was with the game. Think it really does do a good number for the team.
Yeah, I mean, Lich would have made OWCS this year if there were 8 teams instead of 6. They would have been that last team in Kintsugi. But like, yeah, I mean, that's something that I've heard from a lot of teams, is just having the way that players with higher level experience can really elevate the people around them. And I think an example of that is, or of a player that might kind of need that kind of experience is Changed, who is
Yeah.
kind of I mean, most of the 2023 roster, I believe, was Colombian Americans living in the US. There might have been one or two exceptions. A similar-ish thing this time. But Changed is kind of, to my knowledge, one of the real exceptions to that. He is somebody who's come out of the South American scene with the sort of new gen Factor X. And that team hasn't achieved like the best results, to be totally honest. But it is I think it is good that this team has representation from the South America scene, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to say for Change, or you going to say something more?
That's fine.
I was going to say for Change, actually, I had come in as an assistant coach around the time when he was like the last person they were deciding upon. It was between him or Hug. And so he was the one person I get to really provide my opinion about and give feedback on if I thought he was the right choice. And I could see the potential immediately watching him. I could tell that he had the right mechanics, on a game understanding, like his micro was pretty solid. I think just the overall macro and fundamental understanding of the game is something that we wanted to work on him with, which to piggyback on what we were just talking about with the DPS line, and Lich really helped provide that. And I think, and I want to give credit to Temp a lot as well, because when I first joined, and still to like right now, he's been a great IGL for us. Like he calls a lot for our team, and I think he's been helping Changed learn a lot, especially since like being in the hit scan role, him and Change, our flex support, have to really work together and positions together and take like side lanes together. I think he's a great addition.
From what I heard was during the qualifiers and whenever they were doing all the trials and stuff, they go way back, apparently, like a couple of months worth of team experience with each other, just going through the trial process, which I think is going to build characteristic between the two of them. So I wouldn't assume that he didn't see like any glimpse of potential with him, which obviously he did. I mean, to be honest, Change just probably improved the most out of any of us, the fastest. It's a bit impressive. I mean, I say a lot off this podcast. Now, I mean it on here too. That kid, I don't even know how old he is. I guess I'm gonna say kid because I'm 22. Maybe I'm older, but he's doing really, really good, improving really fast.
I think he will impress a lot of people, and I think it's even more impressive because another thing I want to add too is that his first language is Spanish, actually, second language being English, and obviously that's a challenge for him, but he's really overcome that and really has found his place on the team, and I think he's going to really impress a lot of people and really show up for their matches. That'll be the biggest challenge, I think, for him. Like right now in scrims, it's all like about learning and figuring out what we want to play and how to play our comps and his individual role, but I'm very curious to see how he does in a match setting and where the stakes are a little bit higher. We'll see. He's a little inexperienced compared to the rest of the team, but I really believe in him. And like Gomez said, he has been the one that's improved the most out of anybody on the team. I absolutely agree with that.
I assume the team comms in English because you have Lich there.
I mean, even if this is I think this is a bit maybe not known thing, but since 2023. Everyone could speak Spanish but me, and now it's two people that don't know how to speak Spanish. So I think that because the whole scheme of last time in 2023 is that the thing that you're talking about, how it changes kind of more the ideal representation at the moment, since he's living in Colombia right now, is the problem with last time was that people did not like how our comms were in English. That was all because of me. I grew up apparently just dumb as bricks. My mom, at first I thought it was because my parents never taught me, but my mom thoroughly informed me that apparently I was refusing to speak Spanish when I was little, so I actually never practiced it effectively. Now I can understand it. Now that would cause complications because I'm not going to be able to respond back, properly. Imagine having all calm Spanish and all of a sudden you hear, okay, and they have Lucio, they have Reinhardt, that doesn't work like that.
Right.
But that's the whole reason of, why we all come in English regardless. I mean, I think in English anyway, from what I've heard, calming in English is kind of just more the ideal way anyway. Maybe some people can argue with that, but I just feel like English is a little bit more clear to be able to kind of go for it a very very high paced game. Now, if we're talking about like Siege, if we're talking about more slow paced games, maybe Spanish is going to be fitting there because less characters, um, less stuff to kind of get through with the language. I mean, because I'm a little bit dabbled in the Siege scene a little bit because I like watching it. It's pretty cool, pretty nice. But one big inconception too is just like players on the team speak English, not real Colombians. I'm a defend the whole thing with that one too right now. It's not about being like in the country and being able to be there to represent. It's about how, families have, given the future generations the opportunities to be able to play or just be able to, represent in the first place. Like my family my dad had to leave Colombia and go to the US at the age of 24 or like around my age, 24. And ever since then had, given me an opportunity to, be where I'm at right now. And you can apply that to everyone. Like Temp. Temp is not in Colombia right now, but still representing with the blood. It's a big thing. It's not just about speaking Spanish. It's about representing the blood. It's a huge thing. It's like Dead. We have Dead. I didn't even know Dead was Colombian until he mentioned it. Whenever he joined the server. Dead is also one of our coaches. He's our
analyst.
How do you say?
He's one of our analysts from VTY
Analyst,
in Masters.
Yeah, like you can speak as fluent as possible, but you can still have that blood to represent. It's a big thing.
Right. And you guys also have just on the coaching staff thing, and then I want to just round out with some of the other players. Like, you have some of the Tokyo Taio's coaches as well on the coaching staff. How did that even happen?
Mixvi. Oh, yeah.
How does Mixvi have all these connections?
Because Mixvi has the power of being married with a Korean. So we have
Okay.
Mixvi's wife, Jojo. She can just translate for us. So it makes it very easy without having to hire a translator.
I didn't know she was Korean. But was Mixvi the one who like reached out to them, or did they reach out to you? How did they get involved?
Yep. Mixvi reached out.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's been really interesting working with them. I mean, immediately when they came in and provided feedback, you could tell the way they look and understand the game is like a whole different level. And I think, it's a bit challenging, obviously, with the language barrier. They don't really speak fluent English, but the notes, the translated notes that they're able to give us, or even the translations that Mixvi's wife is able to give us as well, like, it's incredibly helpful. And they focus more on the in-game stuff, micro stuff, macro, whatever, like all the in-game stuff, which is something that has been really helpful, something that we've really needed. Whereas like the rest of us coaches, we're able to help with the comms and, other, in the scrims, be there present, like the live coaching, like that's something that we can help. So we have like all bases covered, which is really, really nice and incredibly helpful for the team as a whole. I think it's gonna, Colombia historically has always done super fucking well, but I think I'm very confident this year with the staff we have, the players we have like all the right pieces. I think that they can go further. Even when I first joined, Cersei had asked me to join, and I was like, dude, I was like, wow. Like I stepped in for them when they played against Brazil for a show match, and I was like my first real time spectating them and seeing them play together. And I was like, dude, you have built like a fucking super team this year. Like I'm really impressed with the DPS line and even the backline with so much potential and the coaches and everything. Like it's been really good. So shout out our coaches, shout out Mondu and Rexy. Like they've been doing a lot to help us. So very happy.
Shout out Mixvi for apparently having
Mixvi,
having like the Rolodex from heaven. Jesus. Yeah, and I also think like when I think of Mixvi, I think of her Brig more than anything else. And so I think Lucio being nerfed is probably like relative benefit, I think, for your team more than others. Canada probably most of all. So the tank situation, Gomez, what brought you back to Overwatch after playing Marvel Rivals Pro at the highest level for a year?
It's gonna be so simple, and I don't make it. I make it very very clear. I like playing a game where I shoot something and they die. I'm gonna be real. The whole this is what Rivals has become, and personally, I don't think they're gonna fix it because they kind of did the thing that I hated about Blizzard at first, but now they fixed it. Is that they are leaning like 95, maybe 90% of the balance changes and just kind of like the overall aspect of the game towards the casual scene. And they don't really care about the competitive scene, to be honest. I mean, esports wise, Overwatch is like 10 times bigger. Even if Ignite can put $3 million or yeah, only if oh gosh, sorry. Even if Marvel Rivals can put $3 million into the Ignite part of their esports representation stuff, yeah, you could put a whole big money pool for everyone to see. But if you're not making the quality of the esports, then not many people are gonna watch it. More people are just gonna go to play their favorite Marvel character. Because right now, as how I kind of state it, that game is just sustained slop. That's not fun. I don't like sitting around shooting my gun, going for a dive, and then if you don't fully one clip and one shot the person that you're going on, then they live. Like in this game, imagine, I don't know if you've played Rivals. I don't know if you do.
A little bit, yeah.
Do you know, here, but
Oh, you're right. I mean, stuff doesn't die.
Yeah, stuff doesn't die. And the characters I used to play, like at the very beginning and how it was before, it felt like Overwatch at the start. It felt really good. Like I was able to actually one clip people and it felt good. Because the gunplay was nice, everything was cool.
Even go back to I played a couple matches of like Overwatch Classic yesterday from the anniversary event, and it's like you die like that.
Yeah,
Overwatch has been pretty one-tappy from the start, and they've only added more sustain in as it's gone on, and that's become a balancing act. But like at its base, Overwatch started with like very little healing.
Yeah, you get punished. You get punished for your misplays. In Rivals, you can be in the middle. You can be like, for people who have general knowledge of how team play is, it's when you hold onto a choke line and you overextend. So you expect that when you overextend too far, you're gonna get punished. At least it's an Overwatch. If you overextend and you're too far up, you're gonna die. You're gonna get punished. But then when you do that in Rivals, you can be almost double the distance and still be able to get out as long as your supports are in range. And it's just, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that. My DPS role doesn't feel like a DPS. It just feels like you have to build the ultimates. Whoever builds the sustain, or whoever sustains hard enough and is being able to find picks in the fight is better than, like, I don't want to play that. Maybe it'll be better within like a couple months. Maybe if it doesn't, I'll just kind of like sweep it under the rug and just, I'm not gonna play that game and just kind of stick to Overwatch.
Yeah, and you're also paired alongside Limones, who has a really interesting just story. I mean, he trialed for Team Ireland and Team Colombia, which I just find so fascinating. He comes to us from Briarcliff's Overwatch team, which has been a consistent kind of top 12-ish program in Overwatch Collegiate. I mean, I don't know what the tank rotation looks like, and we're already running a little bit long, so I'm actually not gonna ask, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I want to mention the last player that we haven't mentioned yet, which is Kratos UN, the third DPS player, who to my knowledge is a classic silly hero specialist kind of guy. Venture, Junkrat, Torbjorn, Pharah, stuff like that.
No, they're non-DPS. They're not playing DPS.
Are they playing another role, or are they just permabenched?
I think no.
I think you people might be surprised.
Are you putting him on a Lari?
But I think it's a little obvious, since there's a baby on the team, a literal baby.
Right, right. Yes. That is very good. That is a very good point.
I mean, it's Kratos has a lot of support experience, which is good. So Kratos is able to fill in for that. I mean, guys, are we gonna fucking I don't know. Am I allowed to curse? I don't even ask that. Am I
Yeah,
allowed
it's
to?
fine. It's fine.
Am I allowed to like beat around the bush? Fuck no. I mean, it's like it's a literal. We have a literal baby
Yeah,
on the team.
Mixvi just had a
Yeah.
kid, which congrats to Mixvi and their wife on that. It's really, really, really special, really awesome. Congrats. Yeah, obviously scrimming Overwatch is kind of low priority. Are you expecting Kratos to be playing support in the online
We'll see what
qualifiers, or is
happens.
it's
Yeah,
today?
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
see.
see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. So last up, I want to talk about this group you guys have. You're in a group with Canada, Brazil, and Puerto Rico. This is very exciting to me. I think there's a lot of built-in spice in this group. You've got a lot of teammates. You've got McChicken, who's teammates with Noxious and Graveyard. You've got Arsona, I think used to be teammates with Lich and Temp. Talisman is on the same team as Talisman's on the same team in Collegiate as Hydron as well. There's a lot there's a lot of built-in beef here. Plus, Colombia, you guys beat Brazil last time. They are looking to get their get back on you for that.
They got Hydron now. Yeah.
Well, it's 2026 Hydron. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've heard from the Brazil podcast should be out. Well, it should already be out by the time this comes out. But that I hear he's got some of his motivation back. So we'll see. But all that is to say, I think this is going to be a very exciting group. Luey, also you coached Puerto Rico last time, so there is a ton of just pre-existing juice, I guess you could say, in this group. So who were you most excited to play against?
I think I'll have to stay silent for this one, Louis.
What? Why do you have to say silent? That's not a...
No, because we can't say shit. We know information, and I can't say shit without like accidentally saying it.
Yep, I got you. For me personally, it has to be Puerto Rico because I won't get too in depth with it. But, this year I actually applied to be head coach for Team Puerto Rico, and I didn't get it. I will say, truthfully, I don't agree with the choice they made for that team. But however, I wish nothing for the best of the players in the country, our little island, Puerto Rico. I want them to succeed. I'm with Colombia through and through, and they're my first team, so I want them to succeed and make it out. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun
Your
team
first team,
facing
they're like
against
your
Mount
third
team.
team in this World Cup. You were with
Yeah, third
Pakistan and
team.
you were with Peru, now you're with Colombia?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get Puerto Rico, so Peru reached out. I helped out them, and then Colombia
Yeah.
reached out to me too. And I'm very
Good.
happy because I was really
Dallas
disappointed not to work with
connection.
America's team, because that was my motivation for being in the World Cup in the first place. Work with my people. So now it's been even more Latinos adding to my resume, which is nice. But I'm excited to face them. Brazil will be fun. Obviously, I know they have history with Colombia. Like there's always been head to head between the two, so that'll be an exciting match. And I feel like Blizzard intentionally made us play Brazil our last match in the schedule because that was one of the head to head matches last World Cups.
Yes, that'll be very exciting.
But for Canada, obviously, a lot of people have them very high up. Historically, they've done very, very well. Danny being their head coach is, nothing to look down upon. Like he's a great coach.
Gomez, what are you letting on? What? Come on, you gotta. What do you know that you're not telling us?
Canada will do great. That's it. Canada will do great. They'll give a good fight. I'll say that. We know a little bit of information. I'll say that. I think Luey knows what I'm talking about. I'm gonna keep it at that.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Luey, let's just keep it on the down low a little bit.
I think it'll be a good match. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I think Colombia has a really good shot in all our matches. I think we have a really good shot to prove people that 2023 wasn't a fluke, that we are a great team still. We got great players. We got all
We
of our
did 5 we did 5-0 in the last one. Now surely we can try to do the same for this one, except with like a 3-0.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
was
how it
about to
works,
say
right?
you can't 5-0, I guess.
Is it 3-0? Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't even know how this
it's
format
groups of
works.
4. All I'll say is I'm glad they split up North America and they jumbled up North America and South America. I think that makes for really
I
much more
agree.
interesting qualifying. I think it's more fair to all the LATAM teams as well. We get fun matchups like Brazil versus Puerto Rico. Thank you both for hopping on with me. Much appreciated. Folks, find Luey and Gomez's socials in the description or the Substack body, the text body, and we will see y'all in the server. Take care.